Hi, I want to thank you for joining me today on my Facebook Live. We just finished voting in Congress, and I haven't left to go home yet, but we decided to come down here at the FCC, the Federal Communications Headquarters in Washington, because they are now deliberating whether to repeal net neutrality, the principle, of course, that guarantees a free and open internet. And unfortunately, it's very likely that this is going to be a partisan vote, with the 3 Republican FCC commissioners voting for the repeal and the 2 Democrats voting not to repeal. That's the way the debate and the deliberations seem to be going. And so if that happens in the next few minutes or the next hour, net neutrality will be repealed by the FCC. But I wanted to really stress that this isn't the end. One of the people that's joining me here actually has a sign that says "See you in court, FCC," and I think it's important for everyone to understand there was just a rally here with a bunch of people that are opposed to repeal of net neutrality, and we're going to continue this fight in the court, in the Congress, whatever it takes, because we will not stand for repeal of net neutrality. Why? I'm going to talk briefly, but then I'm going to introduce some of the people that are here protesting today, and they'll identify themselves and their organizations. But we just feel that a free and open internet is so important to democracy, to innovation, to a competitive marketplace, all the things that we as Americans believe in. And it's really the little guy. It's the person who wants to innovate and sell a new product, or a person who's looking for a job. It's the small business people that are going to be impacted the most, in my opinion, because what the big service providers will do is to basically either prevent content from appearing, or slow down the internet if someone doesn't pay them. And the big international corporations probably will be able to afford to pay, or maybe their content won't be blocked. But for the average person, or the person who's looking to innovate and doesn't have billions of dollars to spend, they are going to they're going to suffer. And what happens is, if you think about our country, it's built on the small businesses, it's built on innovation, it's built on people with new ideas. Those are the ones that create the competition. And so this is really a disaster, if you will, in my opinion, for what we believe in terms of our democracy and our free market. In any case, I wanted to have some of the people here. There was a big protest before, but they stayed. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about why you're here, if you don't mind?
Sure. So my name is Eric Null. I work at the Open Technology Institute here in DC. And net neutrality is important to me, and I'm here because I want to make sure that consumers are able to access all the content they want without an ISP sort of getting in the way of that. ISPs have all sorts of business and political interests, and those shouldn't dictate whether I can access certain information online.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm glad you have the sign that says "See you in court," because I really want to stress to everyone that this fight is not over today. Go ahead, introduce.
Hi, I'm Jessica Gonzalez, and I'm the Deputy Director with the Free Press Action Fund. And we are part of the Voices for Internet Freedom Coalition, who organized this rally here today. And that group is made up of Center for Media Justice, Color of Change, 18 Million Rising, and Free Press Action Fund. And and National Hispanic Media Coalition. We were here today to uplift the voices of people of color on this issue. And as I was thinking about why we're here, I thought about in 1970, Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution will not be televised. And for many years that was true for our communities. We did not have a voice in mainstream media. We were not able to tell our own stories in our own words. We were not able to control the narrative and about how we were portrayed in the media. It was very problematic. It was really hard to organize for justice. It was really hard to get people to understand our humanity. And so that changed with the internet. It gave us the ability to organize, to tell our own stories, and to make sure that when injustice happened in our communities, that people would know about it, to hold police accountable to our communities, to ensure that when families were ripped apart by the cruel immigration system, that their stories were told and their full humanity was shown. And so, I'm a lawyer, Inside that building, there's 3 Republicans who want to make this a wonky tech legal issue, but the truth is, it's about people. It's about who gets to control our internet experience, and we want that to rest with the people, not with the corporations who have monopolies on our access to the internet.
Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate your stressing how this is a threat to democracy or to the free press, because diversity is important. And one of the things that the internet is used for, particularly in this Trump age, if you will, is to allow independent organizations that don't particularly like maybe what President Trump or the Washington Republicans are doing. And it doesn't have to be the Republicans. They may not like what the Democrats are doing either. And they can organize and use the internet as an organizing tool to protest or to object and tell people why the actions taken by the Trump administration or Congress is not acceptable, or that they don't like it, or they want it to be changed. And that's really threatened today when we get rid of net neutrality. So thank you. Now, why don't you identify yourself?
My name is Laura Lee. I'm a campaigner for AsianMillionRising.org. We're an Asian American digital first civil rights organization. And we were one of the members of the Voices Coalition that helped to organize the rally today. And I wanted to make sure that folks know that net neutrality is a wonky subject matter, right? It is a matter of civil rights and of digital civil rights. And people of color, in particular LGBTQ folks, undocumented folks, who use the internet to organize, to tell our narratives, and to take ourselves off the margins and put ourselves in the mainstream. And what we lose if net neutrality is repealed is the ability to shape our own narratives and also to reach folks who otherwise would never hear of us, right? We've already seen cases where internet service providers are curating content by blocking access to websites whose organizations have perhaps commented negatively on that ISP. So it's really important that we stay focused and recognize that this is a civil rights issue and this is a matter of our First Amendment rights.
Well, I appreciate it. Earlier in this week I went to Bell Works, which is what used to be Bell Labs in my home county in New Jersey. And the people that we spoke to there were all business people. They sell things on the internet. Small business people, though, that are very innovative and new tech companies. And that was important because we talked about the economic impact and how this really destroys competition in the marketplace. But I also believe that we've got to elevate this to the higher level and say, this is a threat to democracy and to free speech because of the fact that people won't have access. So, I don't know, are we taking questions today, Anton? Or?
No, just a lot of people very supportive on net neutrality. I know our office has got over 2,000 people have called in and said, save net neutrality, and less than 20 people saying get rid of it. So
yeah,
people are really passionate.
There aren't too many. The only people that call, most of the people that call in and say get rid of net neutrality are representing one of the large service providers or whatever that ask them to call. But we still want to hear all voices because that's part of why we want a free and open internet, right? So we can hear all voices. But anyway, look, I just want to stress again because we're going to end now. But I just want to stress again that the reason we're here today at the FCC in Washington is because we would like to stop the FCC from voting to repeal net neutrality. But it doesn't seem that that's likely because the 3 Republicans who are in the majority seem hell-bent on the repeal. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop. We will continue this fight in court, in Congress, wherever we have to, because really democracy is at stake, and the competition in a free market that we believe in as Americans is at stake. So thank you all for joining us today.
Could you identify yourself?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Congressman Frank Pallone. I represent the 6th District in New Jersey, which is Middlesex and Monmouth counties, and I'm also the ranking member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, which is the committee has jurisdiction over the internet, telecommunications, and the FCC. Thank you all.